playing Hades like, and what was most memorable about playing that character?
And why was it your mother-in-law?
Listen, I've grown to love her, actually. She's quite courageous. For me, it was, I didn't expect, playing Hades, I knew mythology, I thought it was so interesting when our first record, I was kind of a dark figure, I know he's been through much and seen too much, right? But I had no idea the humanity you were going to explore. And that's really what I think the big takeaway, all the stuff beautifully played with Persephone, all the scenes I actually got to. We were on Zoom, but we got to actually act together, which was really incredible. And for me, it was just finding the humanity in him and realizing, like, of course he's in love with, the woman of flowers, right? And beauty and love and kindness. And I thought that was kind of an interesting take. And one of my favorite things to do, no matter whatever characters you play, is just to find the humanity in something like that. And especially for Hades. So that was a big deal for me.
Fred, you were amazing. Like I said, you deserve all the flowers for you. And we were very lucky that we had Fred, Elias, Jason, Matt. They were all with us from the very beginning, from the first season. We also had Mike Hughes from Powerhouse, who's been our executive producer from day one, and Sean Devotion, who was our first season supervising director. Now, if you go back, this all started for us back in 2018, 2019. And Mike and Sean, can you just tell us a little bit about the very beginning of Blood of Zeus? I remember you guys were in that little office up in Burbank, like 2 monks in one room, and we would come up and talk. It's kind of crazy to think that this is now 7 years later and 3 seasons later. Take us back. What do you guys remember and think about when you think of Blood of Zeus?
I just remember thinking, you guys are tall. And we're gonna have some battles here with these guys over here. We had this crappy office. We had a couple of arcade games, and the bathroom was terrible. I remember that in the first office, and then we moved finally to a reputable place. I just remember at the beginning that we were going over the scripts and going on the marker board, and there were things in the script that when you actually draw them out, they don't quite look the same, And so we were kind of working on the scripts for a good week. I recall me and Mike were sitting there doing that, figuring that out. And then just like the fun of bringing everybody on in that early phase. I don't know.
Mike?
I go back to what you said about breaking down the scripts and figuring out the logistics of what is this place going to look like? What is the hovel, town, those main areas where season 1 even opens up, just so we can connect the world and expand from there. I think that was kind of pretty important at that point in time.
At the start we did a lot of design. We didn't know anything about what this world would look like. Should it be like very anime? Should it be a little more realistic? So we actually hired a lot of designers to do some really cool designs, and we sort of found Katie, who was over at Powerhouse, had this really great design style, and Phil Barassa, who did a lot of the DC stuff, not DC stuff. He did, I see what's happening. And then, so you guys can hear me okay, you guys are cool. So then we kind of found that we kind of combined their styles, and then Katie was able to take some of the great ideas from Phil, and then we kind of worked it out, and you guys really reacted to that look, and you guys were like, that's it. And Netflix was like, that's it. I recall.
We had one mantra, that was best idea wins, and everybody on here embraced that. Everybody on here took their ego and pride and they left it at the front door, and that's kind of, I think, something that made the show better, because everybody from day one was committed to saying, what's in the best interest of my character, what's in the best interest of the show, and that was our North Star, and that helped. I wanted to throw it to our Aries, who was always very angry. What was the biggest challenge?
He's a nice guy, I don't know.
The nicest guy with the most rage.
Books, music. I demand you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe. Be prepared. Doom. Subscribe or be prepared for doom. Do not resist. Do not resist. Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe.